everyone, this is Darcy with Preserving My Sanity, and this is an episode of What's in Your Fridge. Today, it's Monday, July 6th, 2020, and we're going to talk about using leftovers from the grill after a holiday weekend, since it was just Independence Day weekend here, and traditionally most people grill a lot on the weekend, and if you have family parties and things like that, lots of times you end up with things left over in your refrigerator. So as you come on, if you have any ingredients left in your fridge that you'd like to share with me for ideas, feel free to tell me about them in the comments and I can help you decide what to do with them. Otherwise, I just have some ideas prepared that I'm going to share with you. Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for coming on. So this weekend, we actually made a variety of things. Most of them were on the grill. We made brats on Saturday, and we made grilled chicken on Sunday. We actually, some of you guys saw my post from last weekend. We processed the 4 broiler chickens that we raised this spring, and so on Sunday, we actually took 4 of the leg and thigh quarters, and we grilled them with barbecue sauce and seasoning and stuff on the grill. So this weekend for protein we had brats and we had chicken. I also made cucumber salad. I also cut up a watermelon, and we had baked beans and we had potato salad. So that's what we have basically left over in our refrigerator. So one thing that we like to do with leftover brats, and of course, I mean, all of those things you can just eat them as they are and have the same meal again if you want. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Kind of depends on how much you have left over. You know, if you have a couple of brats left over, you might just eat them as brats with some potato salad. If you have 10 brats left over, you know, you maybe don't want to eat 10 brats as brats and you want to find something else to do with them. So if you have a lot of brats left over, one thing that we like to do is basically slice them up and cook up some, hi Nicole, thanks for coming on. Cut up some peppers and onions and cook those, and then you can actually cook pasta and basically make like a sausage and pepper pasta dish with the brats. That's one thing that we've done before. You can also cook up the peppers and onions and slice up the brats and just kind of have a different kind of sandwich. You know, you can put the sliced up brats with the sausage and peppers on a hoagie bun or something, just to have it be a little bit different than a brat with mustard and ketchup. As far as the leftover chicken goes, there's a lot more you can do with that. We love having leftover chicken, especially grilled chicken. Last week I had some in the fridge, and we actually made chicken quesadillas with the grilled chicken, some refried beans, and some cheese. And that was what we had for dinner. We had like fresh tomatoes and lettuce and Greek yogurt and stuff that we served with it on the side. Sorry. So that was really good. Another thing you can do with chicken is you can make a chicken salad, like a lettuce salad with some fresh vegetables on it. I actually have a barbecue chicken salad up on my blog, preservingmysanity.com, that we make pretty often. It's got leftover barbecue chicken, sweet corn, and then we usually put like cucumbers, tomatoes, stuff like that, and I usually make like a barbecue ranch dressing for that. So that's an idea. You can also make pasta with chicken. So, if you're starting to get vegetables in your garden, there's a lot of varieties of vegetables that you can use to cook and mix with some of that leftover chicken to make a pasta dish. I think we're actually going to do that this week with some Brussels sprouts and some asparagus and probably some spinach. And then we just kind of like to make like a light Alfredo sauce when we do things like that. So that's another idea for chicken. Chicken tacos is also something that's really easy. Maybe you have leftover, hi Sarah, thanks for coming on. Maybe you have leftover burgers. One thing, I actually have a recipe up on my blog for this too, for loaded potato nachos, where I take like sliced potatoes. If maybe you have a couple of baked potatoes left in your fridge too, for example, you can just slice those up into rounds and lay them out on a baking sheet, top them with peppers and onions and anything you'd put on your nachos, and chop up that leftover burger or two, put them on top of the nachos, topped with cheese, put it in the oven, and you've got pretty healthy nachos for dinner. Again, with leftover burgers, you know, you could make tacos if you want, quesadillas, you know, basically a lot of the same ideas I mentioned with the chicken is good with burgers too. Something else that's kind of easy with leftover burgers is just top them a little differently. So maybe the first time you had them, you topped them with lettuce and tomato. Well, maybe for your leftovers, you know, make some guacamole and you know, some corn salsa or something like that, and just mix them up a little bit, make them a little different. If you guys have anything that you want me to talk about while you're listening, feel free to tell me in the comments about it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking. So I also wanted to mention leftover pork, because I know a lot of people make pork shoulder, pork butt on the grill. Maybe you make pork ribs, you know, things like that. There's lots of things you can do with leftover pork too. So a couple of things we like to do with leftover pulled pork is macaroni and cheese. So we like to make macaroni and cheese with like cheddar cheese sauce, and then the pulled pork goes in there, and then we usually put extra barbecue sauce in there with the cheese sauce. So that's something that we really like. Ranch dressing powder or ranch dressing is also kind of good in there with that. Another idea for pulled pork is to make a pizza. So I have a blog up on my website about how we make pizza dough with Greek yogurt. It's Greek yogurt, flour, baking powder, and salt. It's really good. It works really well in a cast iron pan in the oven. So you could use the pulled pork on a pizza. There's a combination we like to do. It's actually bacon, pulled pork, sausage, meatballs, and kind of like a mushroom sauce sort of on the base of that. I talk about it in my blog. And then some cheese and some red onion and fresh cilantro after it bakes. So that's one of our favorite pizzas, and so the pulled pork's really good for that. You can also make pulled pork nachos. So you know, you can put pretty much anything on chips with cheese and it's going to be good. So pulled pork nachos are really good too. So maybe you had leftover fish. You know, I know a lot of people are catching fish this time of year, and if you're making fish on the grill, you know, one thing we eat a lot is fish sandwiches. So you've got your leftover fish that's ready to go. Put it on a bun or some bread with some tartar sauce and lettuce, and you've got a fish sandwich. Another thing that's kind of good with fish is if you like snacking or if you need an appetizer at all, you can just kind of mash it up and mix it with some cream cheese and some diced onion and put it on crackers. That's pretty good. And you could also make like a fish salad for a sandwich where you just mash the fish up and mix it with like, you know, mayonnaise and mustard or tartar sauce or however you like to make your meat salads like that. Do that, serve it on a bun or bread or crackers or whatever. So those are some of the things as far as the leftover meats that I would suggest. Hey Colin, thanks for coming on. As far as some of the sides go, leftover watermelon. Watermelon is the best if you eat it within a few days of cutting it, as you guys know. So I usually end up freezing some of ours when I have a whole watermelon that I cut up. You can freeze it. You can put it in your blender and puree it and drink it like watermelon juice. That's really good. You can make margaritas with it if you wanted to. So those are some of the things that we like to do with watermelon. If you have leftover fruit salad, that's kind of similar. Depending on how you made your fruit salad, you might be able to puree it and use it for smoothies. You might be able to make like popsicles with it or ice cream. If you have like leftover berry salad or something, you could actually make jam with it. You know, throw the berries in the blender with some sugar if it doesn't already have sugar on it, and you know, have refrigerator jam or freezer jam if that's something that sounds good to you. So don't throw those fruit salads away. So there's things that you can do with those. Cucumber salad, you know, stays good for several days because of the vinegar that you have on it. I make mine pretty simple with just like vinegar and sugar and salt and pepper. It's really good with chicken. Like if you have leftover chicken, you can like put the chicken on a wrap with lettuce and the cucumber salad is really good that way. Otherwise, you know, we usually just eat it as cucumber salad. Kind of the same thing with the potato salad. You know, most of the time you're just gonna eat your leftover potato salad like potato salad. Sometimes if I make too big of a batch, we have taken, when we're kind of getting sick of it, we have taken and made like potato salad patties and grilled them on a flat top griddle to make them be kind of toasted and warm. That may or may not sound good to you. It's a little bit weird with the mayonnaise. I don't really put a lot of mayonnaise in my potato salad, so sometimes we do that. We make like potato salad cakes. That's just kind of a random idea there. The baked beans, kind of the same way. You know, usually you're just gonna eat those leftover as beans. Sometimes, you know, we'll just make hot dogs or something, and so we'll kind of turn the beans into like a chili sauce and have hot dogs with the beans on it, like chili bean sauce. You can freeze beans if you want to. You know, if you have a really big batch, you can freeze them, and then next time you grill out, you know, you've got your beans ready to go. If you have vegetables that you grilled from kebabs or something, you know, maybe you have cooked peppers, onions. Sometimes when we make kebabs like that, we do pineapple with it. So like maybe you have something like that left over. You can turn those into like a Asian stir fry. So you can make rice or noodles and teriyaki sauce or something like that, and turn it into a stir fry if you wanted. If anybody has any other things you want me to talk about, tell me in the comments. I guess that's about all that I had for ideas. I did mention I had coleslaw on my list because I know a lot of people make coleslaw too. And again, there it's kind of like the other mayonnaise-based salads. You know, there's really not a ton of things you can do with leftover coleslaw other than to just eat it. One thing I have done before when I had too much plain coleslaw left is I kind of washed off some of my sweet mayonnaise dressing and turned it into like a mango, like a spicy mango slaw for fish tacos. So you can alter the flavor of the coleslaw if you're getting tired of eating it the way it is. You know, you can always think about ways to just adjust it slightly like that. I have done that before, but I hope you guys had a really great holiday weekend, and whatever you have left in your fridge, I hope you enjoy eating it this week. And thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope you have a great day. We'll catch you next time. This is Darcy with Preserving My Sanity. Goodbye.